Adam, and I'm the founder of Boredbrain Music. We make interconnectivity modules, interfacing modules for Eurorack pedals that also do that. And this year at Knobcon, we're announcing our new Eurorack mixer, a fully featured mixer for Eurorack systems. It's called XCELON, and it'll be available later this year, hopefully around Thanksgiving time.
Cool. So looking at this, it looks like, how many inputs we have? We got 6?
Yeah, we have 6 stereo inputs.
Yeah.
Any of these can also be dual mono. So these blue lights here, this switch, allows you to set up a channel in dual mono. So you can take 2 inputs and share it on one. So you have a kick and a snare, a couple basses, something like that. And then that turns the balance control instead of a pan. Everything's in the middle, and you can crossfade between the 2 inputs.
The 2 sources.
So it just gives you a little more flexibility to bring in more sound sources into the 6 channels.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it makes sense, right? You could blend between 2 bass lines, or you could do kick and snare to one, because you don't need that to be stereo at all.
Right.
So cool. So what else do we have going on?
So there's a
here
lot of
today?
features of the mixer. We've been working on it quite a long time. So each of these 6 inputs, you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's harder to see here. We have 4 CV inputs per for volume, balance, effect send 1 and 2. So the 2 effect sends are stereo. So we have stereo effect sends and dedicated stereo effects returns. And those also are CV controllable. One of the cool features per channel is we have an A/B output selection switch. So we have 2 stereo output buses, A and B, and you can select per channel which bus it goes to. Or the middle position, you can actually select both. So there's many things you can do with that for flexibility. One, with our monitor module, our output module, you can use it to cue a channel because we can actually just cue one of the 2 outputs in the headphones. You can use it as a sidechain bus, so you can have a bunch of stuff that you want sidechained or compressed separately on a separate bus. You can also use it because of the middle position as well, you can also use that for parallel processing. So you can have crush some stuff with compression and bring it back in.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that does give you also more flexibility with the routing right there. And like I said, there's a switch for that also on the effects returns. So that gives you the ability to sidechain your effects. You can do really other cool things like just kill them instantly and things like that since you don't have a mute on those.
Okay, cool.
So also on each channel, we have a gain control. You can see these are pretty low, so you actually have a lot of available gain. So you can bring line level devices directly in without any other modules necessary or preamps. You can bring those in, and we have the effect sends like we were talking about. Then you have the balance control, which we talked about, which implements equal power pan law, basically a -4 dB compensation curve. So you have smooth panning from left to right. The volume control, it's a long throw 45mm fader, which you don't see a lot of in Eurorack.
Huge. Yeah, in Eurorack, that's massive.
Exactly, and we have a white LED here to indicate the level. And if you feed CV in, you also get kind of a visual on that as well.
Oh wow, I didn't even notice that the LED on the fader itself is giving you some indication of what's going on with the CV.
Right, we don't have that on the other parameters, but on the volume we have that. The meters actually indicate the relative signal level between the channels. If you turn this down, you see it goes away, but there are jumpers in the rear per channel to configure the VU meters to be pre-fader. So you can, like a DJ mixer, you can see them all the time regardless of whether you have the channel down.
Right.
None of those are configured like that currently. And then the mute switch is a big feature for us. We wanted to get perfect. So we have a very like a light touch, feather light touch mutes that are electronically latching, and they're VCA based, so they have a really quick slew rate, so there's no clicking, but they fade up and down really fast. So they're completely clickless mutes, and they're very easy to hit simultaneously. That's the channel side of things, master side of things. So expansion, we're also offering a 3-channel expansion module, which is basically from here to here. It gives you 3 identical channels with the 2 rows of jacks that correspond to that. And the mixer will accept 2 of those, so you can essentially double the amount of channels on XCELON. In addition to the channel expanders, we also have direct out expanders. So similar to our export module, which is right here, we'll have, so it'll be basically a 4 HP module with 6 TRS outputs without this part here, so it'll be very narrow. and that'll correspond to a 3-channel section of the mixer. You can plug into the back and get direct balanced outputs for the 3 channels, and you plug one into these 3 channels, and you can get a third one if you want, and plug in up here on the back here, and it'll give you the mix out and the effects returns. The expanders also have that port as well, so you can record direct out. And then in addition to that, we actually have 2 ports on the expanders and on the channels, so you can choose whether you want it to be post-gain, the direct outs, or post-volume, because there's not really a consensus on that. Some people want it after the volume, and some people want it after the gain. So we've gone ahead and give you an option for both everywhere, so you can connect those. And then in the future, we do plan next year to have a balanced output expander on larger, denser pack DB25 connectors that has the entire system on direct outputs on just one small module. Wow. So that's the system in a whole, and it's very, XCELON was designed to be hands-on performative, very easy to understand, and everything where you need it. We focused on the effects. We're a company that focuses on interfacing with effects. That's actually the name of our products, is Interfacts. So we wanted to make these very prominent and easy to access, both the sends and the returns.
Yeah, if I can look at an interface and grasp it, then it's great, because I'm a simpleton, so like I don't grasp things quickly, and that I understood everything you were saying, which is the first. When it comes to the effects and the way that you can use those effect sends, is there anything that you think people might not realize you can do with that that's powerful?
Definitely, yeah. Like I was saying, because we're using 2 outputs, so we could actually send, say, the effect outputs, like you could take something like this. So we can take this 303 sound, we'll send it to the delay, and put that in bus A. So you can hear that. I can turn up the intensity. And we can switch it out instantly, so you can use it as a mute, like directly on there, have it on a bus that you're not even using. So that's very useful.
Yeah, no, I can say you can do builds like that, where you can build it up and then cut right into your beater.
Exactly, and the CV control over that also is something like a reverb. So let's say we have the reverb on the drums. The speakers are kind of, they're done today. So if we have so let's flip the effects back to this side. So we got a lot of reverb there. I'm going to control it with a ramp CV. So it's going. The reverb cuts. So you can do some neat things with the CV control over returns, which is really important to us, the way we work. And we think people get really creative with all the features that we put into the product.
No, that's incredible to be able to get it that far and control it that way. So really great. So if someone wants to get one of these, where do they get it?
They'll get it at all the major retailers, hopefully around Thanksgiving time. We're gonna, if you sign up for our newsletter on our website, we'll slowly hint at that as it gets closer. So we have a limited number that we can actually produce. We're a small company. So if you're staying abreast of the situation and that, listening to our hints, you'll know about when it's ready, and you can get one from any major retailer.
The breadcrumbs.
Yes, exactly. So your U.S. retailers and Europe primarily, and then we'll try to get some sprinkled out overseas in Australia and Asia too. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely.
And what was the website that people can sign up for?
Boredbrainmusic.com.
Boredbrainmusic.com. Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Awesome.